Well, it's our final coach and player of the day. We'll be talking with the commissioner a little bit later on, but welcome back to the Ohio Valley Conference Media Day in Evansville, Indiana. Harry Schrader with you. Valley Hoops Insider. We've got the Texas Tech Golden Eagles with us. It's Coach John Pelphrey and Ty Perry. And Coach, you guys went through so much last year. COVID, a lot of different things. Talk about kind of getting to reboot.
Yeah, I think, we've all had a lot of challenges here over the last couple of years, and certainly COVID's played a huge part of that. I think, sometimes not being able to train and be together as much as you normally would to build culture and those types of things, it has an impact. And I know for us as coaches as well as putting together a team, it really affected recruiting for almost 2 years.
Just not being able to see them or know them really, right?
Not being able to go out and see them in their home environments, not to be able to have them to come to campus and see what we're actually about. And that because this is all about relationships, and those things prohibit getting to people in a good relationship. So we're really proud of the process that we had in place for the last couple of years to be able to have a basketball season, to give our student athletes the opportunity to play and compete in college basketball. And then obviously too, even with all the challenges, the biggest one was last year in terms of playing 3 games in a week for 5 straight weeks and to make up, then to get hot, to play well, to win 6 of 8, to get to the conference tournament, to win a game. Those were all very positive marks in terms of learning how to adapt, staying curious. How do we deal with this? How do we deal with that? Very proud of our athletic director, our president, and our basketball team. With all that being said, hopefully some of that stuff is behind us and we get to kind of do some things that are normal to college basketball. And we've been able to recruit and we feel like recruit well to get guys that we identify with, believe in our way of life, which is leadership, books, ball, and professionalism, and the chance to go visit and have guys come visit made that process a lot better. So we're super excited about guys like Ty Perry, who has not missed a day in terms of attitude, work ethic, leadership, caring about his teammates since he's been here. And I haven't mentioned the fact he's a really good basketball player. So, and I think he'll take a lot of other guys who are like-minded, serious, not mindless and lazy. And so I just feel like that we're finally starting from a place that I'm super excited about, a place that I haven't felt probably since 2014 when I was an assistant coach in Florida.
Wow. Those are big words. Those are big words, everybody. Talk about your decision to be at Tennessee Tech and what you bring to the table. People on my site may or may not know a ton about you.
Well, for one, I think I bring a lot of toughness, a lot of energy to the team, and a lot of encouragement. You know what I mean? Guys need encouragement. Guys need guys to whenever they're having a bad day, pick them up in practice or whatever the case may be, or whatever scenario is in life. I think I bring that attitude and that toughness for sure on and off the court.
About 12 points a game last year. Talk about your game. People that may or may not be familiar with your style of play.
I'm a good up in your face type of aggressive guard who loves the defense, and I feel like I bring a lot of intensity to the ball, especially to my teammates, just getting them up and playing defense. I definitely shoot the ball a little bit, create from my teammates, a little bit of everything I can say.
Talk, John, a little bit about what you had to put together, because you've remade the roster a little bit like every other team pretty much has had to do. Talk about those adjustments and formulating your team.
I think we've all had to do a lot of learning. This is a completely different way of doing things than it was in the past. You'd identify Ty Perry after his junior year. You go watch him play. You try to get him on campus at your camp in June. You go watch him play in July. You start trying to set up home visits in August for September. You want to get him to campus in October, official visit, and hopefully get that signature in November. And you get all your work done. So you could just focus on your team and the season coming up. It's not like that.
Not anymore.
I would say 85% of America operated that way. So it's 10 or 15% that, would spend their time in the spring trying to put together a roster. Unheard of. Too stressful, right? And you didn't do your job. You weren't good at what you did if that's the way you were living. It's completely flipped. 90% of America is putting a roster together in about 6 weeks. And oh, by the way, you got 2 dead periods in there, which makes no sense. It's so important that we got not allowed to go out, and they can't come see us. So yeah, it's a completely way different doing things. I'm very proud of our staff for not complaining about it, embracing it, and getting about the business of putting together a roster. This is probably junior, just probably a lot like maybe NAIA school. This is probably a lot like professional sports, where at this time of year, the trade deadlines and all these different ways of free agents to look at it, but they've got a compressed period of time. They don't have a year, year and a half to go recruit somebody. Because the most important thing in that is still figuring out who are you getting. There's a lot of talented people out there in professional sports and collegiate, coaches and players, but it still becomes about who do you want to be around on a daily basis, and you've got to be able to figure that out in a shorter amount of time. So, just like the game of basketball, it's super important to be able to read people and situations during a game. I think it's just important now when you're putting together coaching staffs, you're putting together rosters. So, um, yeah, I think I liked our approach. I liked what we did it. We did it 10 times, um, and we're very, very successful in terms of the people that we offered and the ones that actually came to campus. We had a high success rate of identifying them, getting them there, and then actually getting the young men. Um, and Ty talks about this with our team just in terms of, and he's a guy that's been around. A program that's done very well, a coach that was really, really good. They've had a level of success. He feels really strongly that this is one of the most competitive environments that he's been around, and that makes us feel good. That's reassuring. So all the markers are there for us. Now it's up to us as coaches to provide this opportunity to train, to learn, to hold accountable, to be prepared on a daily basis. If we do that, if we can just move towards reaching our potential, I'm super excited where we could end up at the end of the year.
Yeah, talk about that selection of players all over the place and trying to mesh together a team.
We did get guys from all over the place. It's guys from Wyoming, California, me, Florida. But it's like I always say, it's always these guys are in all great guys. I cannot ask for a better team. I love these guys like my brothers. We don't share the same blood, but that's how close we are. And our coaches did a great job of putting us together and putting us in great situations to get to know each other, especially in the summer. Going back to my old school, we never had a summer, but this has definitely showed me a lot of love, a lot of toughness, and a lot of grit. Just battling those guys every day in practice throughout the summer, and we're here now.
Tell us about some of the new players.
Yeah, one of the things about Ty that we knew coming through the door, because a young man that I coached, Brett Nelson's the head coach at Holy Cross, so he competed against Ty. So one of the first things I did was call Brett, and he says, "You need to get him." And he didn't even talk to him about as a player. He says, "You will not believe the way this guy is leading his team before and after games." So everything for us kind of starts with leadership. So if you value that, this is a really good place to come to. Like I said, there's a lot of guys that can play the game, but um, identifying markers like, do you love to play? And that word sometimes I think gets used the wrong way. I was coming yesterday, like, I love ice cream too, but I couldn't tell you the last time I ate it. This guy loves basketball. He is in the gym every single day. He comes and watches film every single day, and then he goes to practice. Um, there's a lot of guys with him. He's not the only one. And so that is what makes me feel good. Our attitude and body language, our competitive nature, our physical toughness, especially at the guard spot for defense, is different. Our basketball IQ is higher across the board. We're really able to address our shooting, which is important in this game. So I think those are some of the biggest things you'll see. We've got a bunch of guys, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", that are versatile guys. We feel like for the first time, we literally can play and pick and roll 1 through 4. We've got 4 young men that will play the center spot. A couple of them are banged up right now, but that's why we have 4 of them. And I think there's really good competition. They're all kind of different. But they're, above all else, they're really good people. And so I think when you've got that type of mindset to come and work every day, that makes me feel good. I feel like we're all motivated on the same page. One thing I can't stand is mindless and lazy guys, and mindless and lazy guys don't like highly motivated people. So right now we feel like we're just in a really good spot. Again, we got a lot of room for growth. We got to get better, but I think we're just starting in a better place than we ever have.
It's exciting to hear. Tell me a teammate of yours that maybe people like me, I don't know about him. I don't know this guy that's going to emerge and be somebody that's really going to stand out for us.
James Harvey. You know, that guy, man, he can do it all. 6'5", score the ball at a high level, shoot the ball, and like I said, aggressive on defense. And we have a lot of guys like that. Like it doesn't stop there. All the way from the 1 to the 16th man. There's a lot of guys that can do the same thing as him, but he's definitely a standout player for sure.
Seabury came to you. He's got history in the league.
Yep.
Does that help, like a team? You know, for a guy, he's a veteran that's played in the league.
Yeah, he's going to have a huge opportunity there to step up and lead and share his experiences and preach from performance. You know, he's got it in this league, and certainly we hope to put him in a situation where he can have some success and that he's had already. So he's got a wonderful opportunity for us on the court, but also from a leadership standpoint. And, you know, I agree with Ty. I think Javis Harvey's a young man who's a very versatile basketball player who's going to have a chance to have an impact and be a playmaker on both sides of the ball. Daniel Ramsey's coming back to our basketball team, who's our starting center, who's a proven scorer in our league. Health is always going to be his issue, and we hope that, you know, he's going to be able to find a way to be able to consistently perform. Deontay Wood has been a warrior for us last year, and I recruited him when we were at Alabama, so we have a lot of affection for him. He's healthy right now, and he'll be somebody that people have got to deal with. You know, we got a couple of freshmen, and Grant Strong and Jerome Bea, who are probably ahead of schedule for freshmen that, you know, we're able to get. Grant Slatton's a transfer from Ole Miss who's from our area. And Sparta, who we had a great relationship with, you know, high school. He's a very talented young man, but Thompson, Eric Oliver, all these guys are just really good basketball players. And it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. We're going to need everybody because we still live in a pandemic. Injuries and foul trouble are always a part of the game. But that's part of why we're super excited. We just feel like we're a lot more competitive on a daily basis.
What do you like about your schedule?
It's competitive. It really is. You know, for the first time, we probably got more home games than we've had in the past, which is always good. But they're just challenging games. We got 3 Southern Conference schools on our home court. We're at Sunbelt School. We're at Lipscomb. You know, we got Butler on the road. We've got Tennessee on the road, Northern Kentucky on the road. So there's a lot of challenges out there, and I'm excited. Last year, we were super competitive in our non-conference schedule. We just weren't very good under 2 minutes. I think it's situational basketball. That's why I'm excited about guys like Tiny's, other guys in our basketball IQ. I can't wait to see what our decision-making process is at winning time, because that's an area we need to improve in.
It really is interesting to me. Sometimes winning games is about not losing them.
Totally.
Or am I right about that?
Totally. Some of the best lessons in life you learn is what not to do, and to stay out of harm's way, 100%. But the guys that spend the most time on it, the guys that watch it, the guys that are disciplined off the court with school, rest, cover, player development, nutrition, hydration, all those types of things, those guys never miss those opportunities. And it doesn't mean that they always do their best, but the situation gets their best. This guy shows up every single day. You're getting his best. I'm not saying he's going to be perfect. None of us are. But when you have that type of mindset, you show you're serious. I'm in that. So I have this huge responsibility every single day, and I wake up to make sure I'm at my best. So if they need me to help, I'll be there for them.
So final question for you. As you look at this league and this new set of teammates, what's the biggest adjustment for you personally?
The biggest adjustment would probably be just the speed of the game. I talked to Coach on the way up here about what does this league bring, and he said a lot of up and down. You know what I mean? These guys get up and down the floor pretty fast, and that's what we need to work on, getting up and down the floor fast, and just playing the transition. I think we're definitely getting to where we need to be with that. There's still more work to be done.
And then final one for you, is there one or two guys of the other coaches that these are guys I really know, that like maybe the guys you'd be closest to?
As far as coaches in the league?
In this league.
Yeah,
and you know Coach Walker very well.
Yeah, D-Walk, absolutely.
I thought you would.
You know, it's basketball's a small fraternity. There's not a whole lot of us that are blessed to be a Division I head basketball coach, and there's a lot of really good coaches out there that don't get the opportunity. So we all know how fortunate and blessed we are. But there's a lot of really good coaches in this league, and there's some new coaches coming into this that they're bright, they're hardworking, they're competitive. I've enjoyed getting to know a lot of these guys. I think right now, when you look at our league, Preston Spradler has had a ridiculous amount of success the last couple of years. So just not surprised to see their team pick first, for whatever that means in a preseason ranking. But yeah, Daryl Walker is somebody I've had a chance to know for a while. Certainly knew him from afar in the beginning, because he was a great player for Coach Sutton, who brought me to college basketball as a player and as a coach. Obviously, being the head coach at Arkansas, I had a chance to be around him quite a bit, just as one of the former great players. He was a great player in college, the pros. He was an NBA coach, a long time NBA assistant coach. And now he's showing that, he can lead young men. And he's done a really good job at Little Rock. And they'll have to be dealt with in our league as well.
Appreciate your time. Tennessee Tech, they've put together a whole new, not a whole new, but a largely new roster. And they're going to be right there in the OVC. That'll do it for our coaching portion. A little bit later today, we'll be talking with the Commissioner, Beth DeBush. But we appreciate you being with us live here on Twitter and on YouTube from Evansville.